Akashvani presents Morning News. Good morning, I'm Sunil Verma. The headlines. India and US issue joint statement announcing framework for an interim trade agreement. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to embark on a two-day visit to Malaysia today. Two sides to focus on trade and economy, emerging technologies, energy and education. India condemns bombing at an Islamabad Mosque, says Pakistan is choosing to delude itself by blaming others. President Droupadi Murmu to inaugurate Grand Tribal Cultural Festival Bastar Pandum-2026 in Jagdalpur today. India clinch Under19 Cricket World Cup title for record sixth time. President, Vice President and Prime Minister hail Team India. And ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2026 co-hosted by India and Sri Lanka to begin today. India and the US today announced that they have reached a framework for an interim agreement regarding reciprocal and mutually beneficial trade. The Commerce and Industry Ministry shared the India-US joint statement which said that the framework reaffirms the country's commitment to the broader US-India bilateral trade agreement BTA negotiations launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US President Donald Trump on the 13th of February last year, which will include additional market access commitments and support more resilient supply chains. According to the joint statement, the United States will apply a reciprocal tariff rate of 18% on goods of India, including textile and apparel, leather and footwear, plastic and rubber, organic chemicals, home decor, artisanal products and certain machinery. The US will also remove tariffs on certain aircraft and aircraft parts of India imposed to eliminate threats to national security. India will eliminate or reduce tariffs on all US industrial goods and a wide range of US food and agricultural products. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be on a two-day visit to Kuala Lumpur for his third visit to Malaysia. The visit comes at a crucial time as both countries continue to deepen their engagement under the Comprehensive Strategic Partnership elevated in 2024. During the visit, the two sides will review the entire gamut of bilateral ties with a focus on assessing the implementation of decisions taken after the elevation of ties to a comprehensive strategic partnership. India's High Commissioner to Malaysia, B.N. Reddy, has said that discussions will centre on strengthening cooperation in trade and economy, emerging technologies, energy, education and new age sectors such as startups, artificial intelligence and fintech, as both sides look to expanding collaboration beyond traditional areas. Today, Prime Minister Modi will attend a major event by the Indian diaspora. More in this report.
The major highlight of today's schedule will be Prime Minister Narendra Modi's interaction with the Indian diaspora. Salamat Datang Modi ji, an event expected to draw around 15,000 people, is all set to welcome Prime Minister with great pomp and enthusiasm. From dance performances to singing programs, the event will serve as a major cultural showcase at the Mines International Exhibition and Convention Center. Tomorrow, the focus will shift to the official engagements, including the welcome ceremony, bilateral meetings, delegation-level talks, and the exchange of key memoranda of understanding as India and Malaysia look to further strengthen their comprehensive strategic partnership. Durgesh Padoria, Akashvani News, Kuala Lumpur.
President Droupadi Murmu will arrive today on a one-day visit to Jagdalpur, the divisional headquarters of Bastar in Chhattisgarh. On this occasion, she will inaugurate the Bastar Pandum Festival. The President will also address a program organized at Lal Bagh Ground in Jagdalpur. Chhattisgarh Governor Ramen Deka and Chief Minister Vishnu Dev Sai will also be present at the inaugural ceremony of the Bastar Pandum Festival. More from our correspondent.
Under the Bastar Pandum Festival, divisional level competitions will be organized from the 7th to 9th of February. During this period, more than 700 artists from 84 teams will present performance across 12 cultural disciplines. These include tribal dances, handicrafts, traditional tribal cuisine and indigenous musical instruments. Bastar Pandum is a festival centered on tribal traditions, folk arts and the indigenous way of life. While providing a platform to local folk artists, it also plays a significant role in connecting the younger generation with their cultural roots. The popularity of Bastar Pandum is steadily increasing. This year, more than 54,000 participants from various districts of Bastar registered to take part in the festival. Bastar Pandum is not merely a cultural event but a living symbol of the soul of Bastar and its rich tribal identity. Vikalp Shukla, Akashvani News, Raipur.
Union Home and Cooperation Minister Amit Shah will arrive in Raipur this evening on a 3-day visit to Chhattisgarh. During his visit, Mr. Shah will review the internal security situation and left-wing extremism in the state and will also participate in various programs in Raipur and Jagdalpur. In Uttar Pradesh, the Election Commission has extended the deadline for filing claims and objections under the ongoing Special Intensive Revision exercise. Voters can now submit Forms 6, 7 and 8 till March the 6th, 2026 to add their names, seek corrections or request deletions from the electoral rolls. The earlier deadline was February the 6th. India's central bank yesterday raised its real GDP growth projection for 2025-26 to 7.4%, signalling confidence in the durability of domestic demand, even as global trade uncertainties and financial market volatility cloud the external outlook as it held interest rates steady. The RBI also revised upward its early outlook for 2026-27, projecting real GDP growth of 6.9% in the first quarter and 7% in the second. V.O. Chidambaranar Port Authority becomes the first port in India to initiate the implementation of an advanced anti-drone system. The system enables real-time detection, tracking, classification and neutralization of unauthorized drones, thereby safeguarding strategic assets, personnel and port operations. The Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways said that this is a significant milestone towards strengthening maritime and coastal security. This is Akashvani giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our X handle at AIR News Alerts. And for details of stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and download News on AIR app. India has condemned the bombing at an Islamabad Mosque and condoled the loss of life it has caused. In a statement, External Affairs Ministry termed it unfortunate that Pakistan is choosing to delude itself by blaming others for its homegrown ills instead of seriously addressing the problems plaguing its social fabric. The ministry said India rejects any such baseless and pointless allegations. Earlier, 31 people were killed and 170 injured in a suicide attack at a Shia religious center in the capital Islamabad yesterday. Senior officials from the United States and Iran held indirect talks in Oman yesterday, marking the first formal discussions between the two adversaries since US military strikes targeted Iranian nuclear facilities last year. The negotiations, mediated by Oman's Foreign Minister Badr al-Busaidi, took place in the Omani capital of Muscat. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi described the session as a good start and a very good beginning, noting a mutual willingness to continue the dialogue. While no major breakthroughs were announced, both sides expressed openness to further rounds, with the Omani Foreign Ministry confirming the discussions were serious. A report.
The talks focused primarily on Iran's nuclear program, though deep divisions emerged over the agenda. Iran insisted on limiting discussions to nuclear issues and potential sanctions relief, while the United States pushed for a broader scope that would include Tehran's ballistic missile capabilities, its support for regional proxies such as Hezbollah and the Houthis, and concerns over domestic human rights issues, including Tehran's recent crackdown of nationwide protest. The White House has demanded zero nuclear capability from Iran amid United States naval buildup in the region and prior warnings from Donald Trump that failure to reach an agreement could lead to further military action, echoing last June's strike that damaged key Iranian enrichment sites. Oman, a long-term neutral mediator in US-Iran relations, played a pivotal role in facilitating the encounter after earlier uncertainty over location and format. The meeting was initially planned for Istanbul but shifted at Iran's insistence to keep the scope narrower. This is Vinod Kumar for Akashvani News from Dubai.
We have news just in. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has termed the framework for an interim trade agreement between India and the US as great news and thanked US President Donald Trump for his personal commitment to robust ties between the two countries. In a social media post, Mr. Modi said this framework reflects the growing depth, trust and dynamism of India-US partnership. He said it strengthens Make in India by opening new opportunities for India's hard-working farmers, entrepreneurs, MSMEs, startup innovators, fishermen and more. He added that this framework will also strengthen resilient and trusted supply chains and contribute to global growth. India have clinched the Under19 Cricket World Cup title for a record sixth time, beating England by 100 runs in the final of the Under19 World Cup 2026 in Harare, Zimbabwe last evening. After winning the toss and opting to bat first, India were propelled by a stunning record-breaking masterclass from Vaibhav Suryavanshi, who scored 175 off just 80 balls.
Chasing a huge target of 412 runs set by India, England were all out for 311 runs in 40.2 overs. Opting to bat first, India posted 411 runs for the loss of 9 wickets in stipulated 50 overs. The 14-year-old sensation Vaibhav Suryavanshi laid the foundation for India's victory, smashing a breathtaking 175 runs off 80 balls.
That's his 150. What an innings this has been, young man. He tells his teammates, he tells his coaching staff, I'm at the crease, don't you worry.
While skipper Ayush Mahatre contributed 53 of 51 balls. India's bowlers then sealed the victory with R.S. Ambarish claiming 3 wickets, while Dipesh Devendran and Kanishk Chauhan picked up 2 wickets each. Shagun Chopra for Akashvani News.
President Droupadi Murmu, Vice President C.P. Radhakrishnan, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Sports Minister Mansukh Mandaviya and Opposition Leader Rahul Gandhi have congratulated the Indian cricket team for winning the Under-19 ICC Men's World Cup 2026. The ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2026, co-hosted by India and Sri Lanka, kickstarts today. The month-long tournament will run until March the 8th, featuring 20 international teams competing across 55 matches at venues spread across both countries. And now, for a look at today's newspapers, it's over to Renu Kataria.
Thank you, Sunil. The Monetary Policy Committee of the Reserve Bank of India maintaining status quo on interest rates and policy stance in its first meeting of the year is front page news in dailies. RBI keeps key rate unchanged at 5.25%. Loan EMIs to remain same, reads the Tribune headline. RBI back in the crease, headlines Financial Express. RBI plans compensation up to 25,000 rupees in digital fraud cases, even if the victim has shared OTP, reports the Indian Express. India and Malaysia to set up multi-layer chip collaboration during Prime Minister Modi's visit to Malaysia, writes the Economic Times. In its editorial piece titled Anthropic Sends a Message to Bengaluru, the Indian Express argues that AI is rapidly shifting from a supportive tool to an autonomous agent capable of replacing large suites of software-led work. The editorial warns that entry-level tech jobs are especially vulnerable and concludes that policymakers, universities and industry must rethink skilling strategies. And finally, with the only link road covered in 3 feet snow, young men in a remote village in Mandi, Himachal Pradesh carry a 75-year-old patient for 7 kilometers in a makeshift chair to the nearest hospital for treatment, writes the Indian Express. And with that, it's back to you, Sunil.
Thank you, Renu. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. India and US issued joint statement announcing framework for an interim trade agreement. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to embark on a 2-day visit to Malaysia today. 2 sides to focus on trade and economy, emerging technologies, energy and education. India condemns bombing at an Islamabad Mosque, says Pakistan is choosing to delude itself by blaming others. President Droupadi Murmu to inaugurate Grand Tribal Cultural Festival Bastar Pandum-2026 in Jagdalpur today. India clinch Under19 Cricket World Cup title for record 6th time. President, Vice President and Prime Minister hail Team India. And ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2026 co-hosted by India and Sri Lanka to begin today. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.